On April 5, 1926, Hugo Gernsback, in the first issue of Amazing Stories, gave the first definition of science fiction. The first way to describe it is one or more stories set in space, which have characters, humans or aliens, and where inexplicable present elements are proven thanks to personal scientific theories. The first traces of science fiction appear in Lucian's True Stories, where Whitty's crew overcome the Pillars of Hercules, finding a storm that makes them fly and land on the moon. This story is very different from the more famous War of the Worlds, where aliens try to colonize Earth, but die because of the planet's atmosphere. Lucian's already predicted interstellar trips. The golden age of science fiction was the 1940s. During that time, science fiction was split into three subgenres: terrestrial exploration, sword and sorcery, and space opera. The first school of thought focuses on the kidnapping or the projection of a character from its original planet to another one. Second mixed fantasy and science fiction elements, while the third do not give a scientific explanation of the story. The most important writer is Isaac Asimov, a young Soviet that emigrated to Brooklyn at the age of 3. In 1937, he proposed to John Campbell, editor of Astounding Stories, his first novel. Unfortunately, it was sent back to him, but with an encouraging and written note. He followed the advice of Campbell and wrote two important cycles, the one of Foundation and the Robot ones, ruled by the three laws of robotics. With the come to power of the nuclear bomb and thanks to the Cold War fate, the technological evolution started to decrease. So the beginning of the 1970s saw the closure one by one of sci-fi newsrooms, until 1974 when Michael Moorcock took the lead of New World and created the New Wave, a science fiction line not bound to traditional standards, which focuses on the human body and mind exploration. Unfortunately, after only 6 years, New World shut down. In the 1970s, science fiction prefers an apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic vision of the world, creating three subgenres: robotic, post-apocalypse, and alien invasion. Robots were very different from Asimov's one, starting revolution and self-proclamation as independent life form, breaking the three laws, while aliens return on the scene thanks to the movie Alien and its first woman hero, Helen Ripley. In the 1980s, cyberpunk is the new line. Cyberpunk writers took distances from mainstream American literature, changing backgrounds, times, and subject, creating what is nowadays called cyberspace. These novels are now settled in a technological cyberspace, in a decadent and hyper-technological society of the close future, led by multinational corporations and where main characters usually are hackers that stand against the oppression of these corporations through cyber attacks. The 90s, without any doubt, are the best years for sci-fi movies, thanks to the numerous improvements of the special effects and computer-generated imagery. In the first decade of the new millennium, 90% of American movies produced are of the sci-fi genre, even if the big houses of production prefer to invest in brands already known through reboots, sequels, or remakes. The most important remakes are Alexis Proyas' iRobot, which took and reinterpreted the three laws of robotics, James McTeague, Before Vengeance, set in a dystopic English society of the future. Nevertheless, a special mention has to be given to Neil Blomkamp's District 9, that spooked everyone facing discrimination and xenophobia through an alien society on the Earth. Incipit a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, is from the most famous series of sci-fi movies, Star Wars. The series of Lucas is set in an unknown galaxy where Jedi forces of good fight against the evil Sith. Both use a mysterious force as a clear or dark side. But what is this force? Does it exist? A parallelism with Taoism could remove all doubt. According to Taoism, the world is regulated by harmony, and energy that can connect every level of the universe called Tao. It is life flux, which flows in everything and that can change continuously, but at the same time it remains the same. But Tao is composed by two parts, a clear and a dark one, yin and yang, that together form an energy called Qi. These two parts are represented in a circle as two spirals, two snakes trying to wind up the other, representing the rise and fall of these two way of actions. No one will triumph on the other. On its highest point, the other part will tackle it, as in the two trilogies of Star Wars. In the first and in the second episode, Anakin represents the supreme good, till the third episode, where he turns to the dark side, but in the last episode he will turn again to the clear side, saving his son Luke. Moreover, the Jedi path is very similar to the one of the philosophical Taoism, that looks for a perfect harmony with the whole natural world through meditation, way, and the non-attachment of the Zen Buddhism, the complete abandonment of all human desire. Nevertheless, Star Wars is not based only on Eastern religions or teachings. All the series is permeated with biblical historical events or mythical similarities. The birth of Anakin is similar to the one of Jesus, a conception without father, while Luke is often related to King Arthur because both grew up without knowing anything about their parents and fought their campaign against the evil forces using a sword and are present in a love triangle. The Jedi Order is connected to Shaolin monks for the great faith in the Ki and have references with Templars for the complete faith in religion and hierarchy, but even the end is similar, both pursued and killed. The last analyzed movie is Avatar, Cameron's masterpiece is from 2009, and even if it appears based only on visual effect and 3D, within it there are powerful relationships with religion. The story is set on Pandora, a planet of the Alpha Centauri system, populated by Na'vi, humanoids that are 9 to 10 feet tall, with blue skin. Pandora is a primordial planet. Its atmosphere is unbreathable for humans. For this reason, scientists genetically created some hybrids called Avatar. To use its avatar, users must be connected to a special machine through which he shares his senses, controlling and becoming it as if it was his own body. Even if the word avatar is very common to internet users, the origin of the word is Sanskrit, meaning incarnation. In Hinduism, the avatara is the takeover of a human body by a divinity. The only one who counts more avatar is Vishnu, and among them we can find Rama, Krishna, and Buddha. The aim of an avatara is to fight with the good forces against the evil army, to resume equilibrium. The same thing of Jake Sullivan, main character of the movie, who once entered the Navy community, fights against humans and their exploiting campaign. The most important avatar of Vishnu is Krishna, that has a blue skin, the same color of the Navy. Last religious references comes from near Turin, Italy, from a new faith, the cult of the Federation of Damanhur. This federation was founded in 1975 by Oberto Einaudi, who hid it until 1992. People from Damanhur and Navy share a strong link with nature and animals. In Damanhur, every man takes his name from the most connected animal, while on Pandora, a Navy becomes a warrior only when it bonds with a winged beast, and both use a language known only by the members of the clan. In conclusion, we can state that a peaceful coexistence is possible, even among two grounds, the religious and the scientific one, that apparently exclude the other. The magnificence of science fiction lies in its attempt to spark curiosity in the reader on what will happen to his world in the future. Maybe Lucas and Cameron tried to explain that only putting together these two grounds can we live in their fascinating worlds.